What role do you think tall buildings specifically can play in combating China's air quality crisis?
When we saw tall buildings or super tall building, had also great impact to the air quality, particularly for the user inside the building, because you have be part some of the conference in the last 3 days. They are researchers that the taller the building is, and then the air quality going up, it's better.
Yeah.
So with tall building, it would not only improve the air quality of the air inside the building, because the cleanliness, the dust level is all reduced, and also of the speed of the higher you go, the air speed is higher. In fact, I would say tall building would not only add value to air quality, but it will also reduce energy, because the higher it is, the cooler it is. So you bring in air, cooler and cleaner. Why not? Okay, so I would say and also when we have a more tall building, but in a proportional manner, in the right orientation, location, and if they don't form a barrier wall, I would say it is should be the benefit of the city.
So a benefit to the people in the building?
Yeah,
and
in the building, outside the building, both.
Yeah, and outside the building.
Both.
What do you think are the most promising technologies that might enable a net zero skyscraper? And do you think that's even possible?
I would rather not using the word net zero energy building, because I'd rather use the word towards net zero energy building. It's more appropriate. Because the thing is, when we have a tall building, we need a lot of mechanism, elevators, air conditioning, power. Although we can use renewable energy, wind, solar, but it can only take a charge of 10%, and we still 90%. And then even we bring in the other, if you heard a building in Guangzhou, they said net zero energy building. The most important, get the data before the building being complete. You can say a lot, okay, but I would say only one could say it's a net zero energy building after complete with data. With data, I would challenge it, particularly the tall building. I think not impossible, but I think it really needs a balance. So I would be more humble. I would do our best to design the building towards net zero energy.
So it's a good goal, even if it might not be achievable in the near future.
Because the people like to listen Greek words, high-sounding words. But the thing is, as a professional, we need to be honest to ourselves.
What do you think is a more realistic goal?
Well, as far as I know, S-ray, and then a lot of party is now revising all the standard, and then for example, by year 2030, they hope to achieve towards net zero energy by that time. But 2030 is not far away,
right.
16 years. But from if we have to cut off so much of it, we need a lot of hard work, a lot of coordination, and also we need regulation. Otherwise, but today when you want to build a tower, it needs to be financially viable, and then the capital investment is to be, the money should be returnable. It should be a balance, because you build building and you lose money. There's no point.
You're an engineer.
I am an engineer.
What sort of technologies are most interesting to you that hold the most promise for moving towards net
I think
zero?
there's a lot of stuff. I would say there's a lot of stuff on this towards for example, it's a total building system design. We start with the curtain wall,
Mm.
and then the professional. We always have to target the root of the problem first. So the root of the problem, reduce energy into the building, first priority. So the curtain wall. So, and there's a lot of ways, you know, this day with low E glass and the double facade, window, there's all kinds of stuff to reduce energy. Once you reduce energy input to the building, and then the rest is on the elevator. Now the elevator is getting more and more advanced, and then they're regenerating power, and air conditioning, and now they bring in all the underfloor, tube beam, tube ceiling. They're all, there's almost every system. There's many choices, but finally it's all up to the client, how much is this. So it needs a balance, I would say. And then if government building, the way to tackle for government building, for institutional, commercial, and just build and sell. It's all different approach.
On the subject of resilience, what do you think tall buildings need to be doing better to address disaster resilience and climate resilience?
That is one thing very interesting for the resilience. Because for tall building, because normally from my experience, if a building talk about 100 story, like Shanghai Tower, they're talking about 10 billion RMB in the order maybe 2 billion US. So it's a big dollar. So when you spend so much money, and then the building should against a lot of, say, natural disaster, earthquake, rainstorm, tsunami, and some disaster in Hong Kong. We're facing maybe the Occupy Central, you know. The people, we were maybe 30,000 people break into your building. and you know, and then I think the owners and the design team should recruit another team professional called the risk assessment people. Try to identify all the risks as fast as they can. And then, because once you identify the risk, you can prioritize it. And which item have to tackle. If it's flooding, most important. And then also, one thing in common, we found that all these tall buildings, there will be a lot of VIP coming as well, president. Okay, and I remember Bill Clinton was locked in the elevator in Hong Kong, and it is very shameful, you know. If a very VIP and he get locked himself somewhere in the building, it would become world news. So I think as a designer, particular client, had to investigate how to minimize the risk for all kind of possible or unforeseen things.
So risk assessment is as important as the design itself.
That's it. Yeah.
So congratulations on becoming a Council on Tall Buildings and Urban Habitat trustee. What hopes do you have for the organization going forward, or what goals?
Well, in fact, when that's a few months ago, and then I found there's some objective for each trustee, and then they want a mechanical engineer, and then because the more better combination in the trustee board, the architect client. So I would try to use my experience, and then diversify, as David said, growth, diversify the market, and then I hope that we can encourage more people in getting more mechanical, electrical professional, maybe contractors to join. And then as also David said, there's a lot of tall building in China. I think the developers that we have approached is only a very small portion of it. I think I'm still very optimistic could help the council to expand the members from developers and also contractors, because so far if you look at all the period history of the council, the participation by the building contractor is not a lot. So there are big numbers there. So I think in the coming few years, 3 years at least, I work with the team could generate more either revenue and members.